Good evening. It's Thursday, believe it or not. I couldn't get around to finishing this yesterday because of, um, ministry and other things. So I thought I would try and get my Thursday words from the pastor this week. Um, and the thought I wanted to leave with us is it kind of follows on last week, a little Christmas story. And I'm wondering and hoping that we can get something from this little story. I figured it's a good time to do Christmas stories. Anyway, this story is called On Santa's Team, and it sounds a little goofy, it sounds a little trite, it sounds a little juvenile, but at the same time, there's a message there, and the message fits very much into the final closing thought I hope to make with all of us. Okay? This is a story, and I'm going to take a little time to read it a little bit because I just came across it, and it's not that familiar. I wasn't that familiar with it. Anyway, it says, "My grandma taught me everything about Christmas. I was just a kid. I remember tearing across town on my bike to visit her on my way on the day my big sister dropped a bomb. There's no Santa Claus," she told me. "There's absolutely no Santa Claus. Even dummies know that." Well, my grandma was not the gushy kind of person, never had been. And so I fled to her that day because I knew she would be straight with me. I knew Grandma always told the truth, and I knew that truth always went down a whole lot easier when swallowed with one of her world-famous cinnamon buns. Anyway, Grandma was home, and the buns were still warm. Between bites, I told her everything, and she was ready for me. "No Santa Claus," she snorted. "Ridiculous. Don't believe it. That rumor has been going around for years, and it makes me mad, plain mad. Now put on your coat and let's go." Go where, Grandma?" I asked. I hadn't even finished my first cinnamon bun yet. Where turned out to be Kirby's General Store, the one store in town that had a little bit of just about everything. As we walked through its doors, Grandma handed me $10, and that was a whole bundle in those days. "Take this money," she said, "and buy something for someone who needs it. I'll wait for you in the car." And then she turned out and walked out of Kirby's. Well, I was only 8 years old, and I had often gone shopping with my mother, but never had I shopped for anything by myself. The store seemed big and crowded, full of people scrambling to finish their Christmas shopping. And for a few minutes I just stood there, confused, not knowing where to go, not knowing what to do, and clutching that $10 bill, wondering what to buy and who to buy it for. I thought of everybody I knew, my family, my friends, my neighbors, the kids at school, the people who went to my church. I was just about thought out when I suddenly thought of Bobby Decker. He was a kid with bad breath and messy hair, and he sat right behind me in Mrs. Pollock's grade 2 class. Bobby Decker didn't have a coat. I knew that because he never went out for class recess during the winter. His mother always wrote a note telling the teacher that he had a cough, but we all knew, all of the kids knew, that he didn't have a cough, he just didn't have a coat. I fingered the $10 bill with growing excitement. I would buy Bobby Decker a coat. I settled on a red corduroy one that had a good look to it. Looked real warm, and he would like that. I didn't see a price tag, but $10 ought to buy just about anything. I put my $10 bill on the counter and pushed them toward the lady behind it. She looked at the coat, and she looked at me. "Is this a Christmas present for someone?" she asked. "Yes," I said. "It's for Bobby. He's in my class, and he doesn't have a coat." The nice lady smiled at me. I didn't get any change from her, but she put the coat in the bag and wished me Merry Christmas. That evening, Grandma helped me wrap the coat in the Christmas paper and ribbons and write, "To Bobby, from Santa Claus" on it. Grandma said that Santa always insisted on secrecy. Then she drove me over to Bobby Decker's house, explaining as we went that I was now and forever officially one of Santa's helpers. Grandma parked down the street from Bobby's house, and she and I crept noiselessly and hid in the bushes by his front walk. Suddenly, Grandma gave me a nudge. "All right, Santa Claus," she said. "Get going. Get moving." I got a deep breath and dashed for the front door, threw his present down on his step, pounded his doorbell twice, and flew back to the safety of the bushes and Grandma. Together, we walked breathlessly in the darkness for the front door to open. Finally, it did, and there stood Bobby. He looked down, looked around, picked up his present, and went back in and closed the door. 40 years later, haven't dimmed the thrill of those moments standing there shivering with Grandma in the bushes by Bobby's house. That night I realized that those rumors about Santa's demise, about there being no Santa, were just what Grandma said they were, ridiculous. Santa was alive and well, and we were on his team. Simple little story, right? A simple little story about a grandmother teaching her grandson the importance of what Christmas is about. Not about the receiving part, but about the giving part, about the sharing part, about the acknowledging the need of other and wanting to do something to make it right, to make it better. The question for us as we kind of close our words this evening, very simple. Not only are we on Santa's team, and I can tell from the generosity of so many others who helped with our giving tree this year that we have many, many people on Santa's team. But are we on Jesus' team? That's even a more critical question. May we be able to say, definitely so. Santa is alive and well. And Jesus, in this season of peace, in this season of, in this country of ours that needs so much help and so much attention and so much being more civil and more charitable and more kind and more joyous, more optimistic, may we find ourselves on Jesus' team as well, because Santa is alive, but so is Jesus, and we are on his team. God bless you all and have a great week. Have a wonderful, outstanding Christmas, and we'll talk to you maybe on Christmas Day, which is next Wednesday. God bless you all, and don't forget to pray for us here at Mary Help, because know that we are praying for you. Mary Help of Christians, pray for us. Mary Help of Christians, pray for you. God bless you all.